This is the video where you will see the Muslim leader has debunked SNEAKO's situation with xQc and Destiny. Okay, let's see this video.
Salam alaikum. How are you?
Alaikum salam wa
Walaikum
rahmatullahi wa
assalam
barakatuh.
wa
How are you, man?
rahmatullahi wa
I'm
barakatuh.
doing good. I'm back in the land of shaitan, back in Miami. I haven't spoken to you since Ramadan. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm great. What is the recent controversy that you're in? I'm used to you being in controversy, isn't it?
I see. When you say what controversy I'm in, I don't know which one you're talking about. I'm always in something. There's always something going on. So there's like 3 or 4 things you can speak about right now.
Yeah, subhanAllah, this is the thing. Sometimes I'm just scrolling at Twitter and I see some people attacking you randomly or something like that. People always talking about you for some reason. I think it's the fact that your name is viral, maybe. That's why they're using you as a means. I think a lot of these people are envious, and it is really sad sometimes where you have a streamer, at least he's doing something or trying to do something good in a way. You spend the whole month of Ramadan. Look, it doesn't matter what kind of view they have against you. Like, no one can come and say, someone spending a whole month collecting money for charity for Palestine is not doing good, you know. And these streamers who are or these people who generally criticize you, like, what kind of good have we seen them doing? What kind of charity kind of collections that they have been doing in the last how many years? These people have millions, like thousands, tens of thousands of dollars. So it's really surprising sometimes when I see people attacking you for, oh, you're doing this, you're doing that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really see it too important to compare. I'm trying to think about the audience. So I see people get really upset when I talk about my refusal to take a gambling deal because they see it as a reflection of their own actions. But I'm not. When I talk about that, it's not trying to be a personal attack on these people. I'm just trying to. I want the audience to know that you don't need to go sell out your morals. And what's better for the world is that you make the right decision. And maybe I could do that in a more gracious way. I'm trying to approach this content thing more stoically, with more stoicism. But what's your perception? Yeah, we'll do the debate review. But what's your overall perception on how I've been handling things, and how do you think I could do better and make it more Islamic?
But we kind of had like a brief kind of talk about that last time, in a way, right? It's
Yeah.
like it's impossible to live in the world you're living in and make it Islamic, right? It's like the best you could do is to do as best as you can, which is what I can see you trying to do essentially, right? As much as possible, you're trying to avoid to bring like these women that is, doing all of this, to kind of activities online or this or that. You're trying to avoid doing that, for example. You're trying to bring people who are more educating the people on an intellectual level, because something which is really funny is like, you do not need to be, number one, a clown, number two, using women's bodies in order for you to get views. And I think the fact that the whole Western world, in a way, the whole streaming world, think you have to either do one of these two things in order for you to get views is pathetic. It's honestly the most pathetic thing I have seen. It is an admit of defeat in every level. It's an admit that these people have got nothing intellectual to offer, have got no real benefit to the world that they can put forward. That's why they have to rely on using women, or have to rely on acting in the most ridiculous, crazy type of childish manner, because this is what gets the clicks. Like, and I don't like using myself as an example, but it's not even just me or anyone in general. You would see people, brothers, doing da'wah, and you'd see them on live streaming, and you'll see them with an average of 7 8K people watching, and there's no women in the screen. There is no jumping like a clown, making monkey noises, acting like you're home, and like getting all of these physical objects out of the screen to show someone's butt. Yeah, all of this is like
I show
crazy stuff that
speed.
you're about to do right now. Yeah, so there is no need for any of that in order for you to get people interested, because you're offering value. The difference is you're actually offering value to the world. You're offering information. You're helping people who are looking for answers for certain questions. You're educating people. You're educating the world. You're giving them information. You're giving them benefit, and they're curious about these things. That's why these people are watching. So I honestly think it's pathetic when people think that I need a woman, not just a woman. I need a woman's body to be very specific there, because it's not about the woman. Let's see if they're gonna bring a woman in a hijab and a burqa or something. They're gonna put her on the stream for views. They're not gonna do that, because that defeats the purpose, right? It's not about the woman. It's about using the woman's body in that way for the viewers who are sadly pathetic most of the time and got nothing going on in their life. So they need to see a woman in the screen because they have no real interaction with women in real life. So they end up watching this stuff and then getting, excited by watching, whatever kind of things that appear on the screen. And I think this is pathetic first because they are using their viewers because they know this woman that comes on the screen, they're using her as an object to get content, and then they're using their viewers, the weak mentality of their viewers, and the fact that they're not able to get anything. So that's why they keep screaming, "Bring us a woman in the screen! Where is the girls? Where is the girls? Where is the girls?" 24 hours. I think it's just pathetic, honestly. This whole scene, this whole kind of streaming world in the West is pathetic. This is the least I could say
I mean,
about this.
that's the game of entertainment, and I did a month straight, and they never speak about that. A month straight of just doing dawah, completely halal content. I like even refrain from things like music. We're just a month speaking to sheikhs, speaking to students of knowledge like yourself, having Islamic conversations, and then they don't talk about for a month straight. And then for people to still insinuate, like I'm in Mecca, I'm literally streaming in Medina, like in a haram, all the way over there with half the viewers that I have in America because it's my religion, and people still call me a fake Muslim, but I don't really, it doesn't really affect me anymore. I'm at the point where I'm just trying to add something good to this conversation because I know how the entertainment is. People want to see that. You're gonna have to ultimately you do have to compromise halal completely to be able to garner a good audience, right? Like for example, think about like the ads that show up. Some of them are haram, right? If you're going to be scrolling and looking at Twitter, there's going to be music playing. You're going to be cursing sometimes. It just happens. If you do debates and stuff like that, you're going to speak at the kafir, or there's going to be women like there's some semblance of free mixing. In order to be a good entertainer, you do have to compromise to some extent. Don't you agree?
Yeah, so I kind of disagree and agree in the same time. Like I'll explain why. Like for example, you say you have to speak to someone who's not a Muslim. That's not haram from an Islamic point of view. That's encouraged. That's what da'wah is, right?
Yeah.
I need to speak to someone who's not a Muslim. You say, for example, you have to speak to women. Okay, there's a difference between I speak to women on my live streams, but they have their cameras off, and I have a discussion with them about what they actually believe and what they actually think, and not how their body looks. And what they're wearing today. It's not what the stream is about, right? So it's not about also not talking to women. You can also talk to women, but it's about the idea of why are you talking to women? What is the reason you're using it? You talk about, for example, scrolling, right? Whatever you follow is most of the time what the algorithm is about to show you. What you click on is what the algorithm is going to recommend to you most of the time. So if you click on my YouTube, if you open my YouTube, for example, always going to appear is the Islamic content. This person, this sheikh, this person. This is what is going to appear, right? This person doing da'wah. This is what is going to appear. If this is what you watch, this is what YouTube will recommend for you, for example, right? And certain apps that I don't use at all, like for example TikTok, because it's like whatever you doesn't matter what you follow, they're trying to show you something. They're trying to funnel you into some kind of prostitution online for women or this or this. They're just trying to do it either way, whatever you're trying to do. That's why
It's
I
all
don't
a
even have it
funnel.
on my phone.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's why I don't even have it on my phone because it's all a plan to do that. So there is a level of in Islam we don't have this idea of compromise. We don't need compromise because Islam allows you all the room that you need. The only time you need compromise is Islam is not perfect enough that it allows you the room that you need. Right? So the point is Islam has the room, all the room that you need. You don't need to compromise, you don't need to change, you don't need to do anything in that way. But this is what I was telling you. Look, I'm speaking again from an Islamic point of view, and I told you before last time that you're kind of coming from a complete different world. You are within a complete different world, you live in a complete different state. So you will have to kind of you're in the end. If you want to continue what you're doing, there has to be a mixture. But you're decreasing it as much as you can, which is a very respectful and an honorable thing. And I hope in the end you're able to kind of make it the best way possible. When you're able
Yeah,
to completely avoid it.
I am trying my best. And I was wondering, did you get the chance to watch the debate with the 2v1 debate with xQc and Destiny?
Well, I honestly did not. I'll tell you something funny, right? I had someone like DM me like not long ago, like today. I was just scrolling and I found it, and someone said, "SNEAKO had a debate with this person about that, and please tell him not to do this, not to do that." And I'm thinking like, okay, like it's funny at the same time. They're thinking that I'm gonna call you, okay, brother, what are you doing? I understand. This is the thing. I understand you've got this passion to speak about Islam, which is good, like to tell people about Islam and to also and educate your viewers to speak to these kind of lost YouTubers about like what Islam is and a purpose of life and you shouldn't live, and your wife is cheating on you and you're leaving you and you're asking for girls' feet and stuff. You shouldn't be doing this stuff,
Astaghfirullah.
You should be actually, yeah, you should actually be living a good life and getting married and having children and living like an actual human being, right?
Mhm.
So I appreciate you doing that and I understand, but sometimes you have to, as I said, you have to educate yourself a little bit on the topics and the points that you make. So we can watch it, inshallah. I didn't watch the full thing, but we can watch it, and I didn't get a chance because
Okay, I thought you were going to be able to watch. Honestly, there's not really. We could show some highlights, but it's 30 minutes. It's a waste of time. Instead of like, I could ask you like, what's the most effective way to answer?
No. I think we can watch it, and I'll tell you why we can watch it, because I think you can benefit from it. Like I want to see how you respond, and then also I want to show you the tactics that they use. It's up to you, of course, in the end. But I want to show you the tactics that they would use with you and your speaker. I think it can be highly beneficial, not just for you, but for the people watching as well.
Okay. I'll bring it up right now. It's on Twitter. It's around 30 minutes though. And I'm supposed to call somebody at 8 o'clock.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So first question I want to ask you, Muhammad Ali, is it haram to use words like?
Well, if you're just using it generally, I wouldn't say that's necessarily haram, look, using a term generally is very different as well from specifically using it against someone, right? These are two separate things. So, demeaning and degrading people, of course, I think, this is not necessarily a halal behavior to take with anyone,
Right.
Specific individual trying to demean them. And because in the end, even if your goal is you actually care about people, that you want good for them, you don't want them to start having a defense shield against you because you're insulting them rather than actually listening to you and open up and changing their perspective. So I would say it's more of a ripple effect if you use these terms with these individuals.
Okay. What about the idea of I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to defend that. Isn't that ingrained in not just Islam but all religions? The idea, because if you look up the definition, it's having negative attitudes or a negative attitude towards people. It's not true because you're still walking around and you've made fun of Islam. If that were true,
because I live in the United States of America, thank God. But no, so I'm asking. So then, would you say every time a Muslim lashes out at somebody because they make fun of their religion, it's like they have a deep-seated shame about it?
No, I'm saying that the reason that XQC draws a line there, it's not because of this morality thing, because nobody wants to be fat, nobody wants to be broke, nobody wants
to be a Muslim. Why do they get so offended when you make fun of them?
That's what do you say?
Yeah, I was just saying, you stop there just to address this kind of ridiculous, nonsensical claim this blue-haired guy is making, right? So he's trying to equate a personal shame to a defense of an idea, an ideology. An ideology is not something that is you yourself. This is now the false equivalence that he's making in this analogy, right?
Right.
So when we say, for example, when a Muslim gets angry, he gets angry because he has a belief in a specific ideology, and he believes this ideology is true, and then he believes that you are misrepresenting or showing this ideology in a way which it shouldn't be. So they're passionate about an ideology that they believe in. But in the example that you made, there's a sense of shame because it's a personal thing. Now, someone come and say, okay, but religion is a personal thing. Yes, but this is not. The difference is it's an ideology that he believes in. It is not an action that he's engaging with as a human being. So if I'm ashamed, for example, if I do gambling or I steal or I do any of these things, this is a personal action that I personally do, not just an ideology that I believe in. These are two separate things. So there is a false equivalence that he's making there. But in the end, no one is saying Islam is not teaching you to get angry if just anyone is talking about Islam as well. This is another straw man that he's making in this analogy. So Islam doesn't teach if someone speaks about Islam, then you just go around and do whatever this stuff he's saying. So that's not Islam. So
But
this
maybe
analogy doesn't work.
Does that false equivalency happen? I notice it a lot, not just with these blue hair people, with all of them. Isn't their religion, because humans are always inclined to follow something. They need faith in something. Don't you think that LGBT and this whole, that craziness, that's become their faith and their religion? That's why they compare it to Islam?
Yeah, you can say that. You can say it has become an ideology for certain people to adopt. But if you're talking about the sense of shame, it's not to do with the ideology. Like if you call them that, they don't feel ashamed because of their ideology of LGBTQs being attacked, but is of their personal behavior, personal actions, and interaction in that specific act that they're ashamed of doing.
Okay. But that's the question I want to ask you. Is it Islamic to believe that being gay is bad?
Yeah,
always.
Correct.
Before we talk about bad and good,
Always
there is
bad.
an argument that the other guy is making. I don't know who's like his speech is not really clear. This guy, the argument he's trying to make is that it is a natural thing to be. It's not choice. You're born that way.
Yeah. And being gay is a choice.
Yeah. This is the thing. This is what you were saying. But he's rebutting that by saying it's a problem to shame someone for being themselves, right? But where's the argument? Where's the evidence that he provided that being natural thing? is the natural state of a human being. Where is the evidence, scientific or otherwise, that shows that? And by the way, me as a Muslim or you or anyone doesn't need to give evidence for anything because they're making the claim that this is an innate position. You are making the claim it's an innate position to be homosexual, then provide your evidence. Where's the evidence that this is the innate state? Like, no one is going to argue is being heterosexual is innate or not, because it's a biological thing. And a man and woman engage, they have birth, there's a specific body parts that are created, and they're supposed to be in harmony in a specific way that God created them to be. That is the biological thing that takes place. But if you want to claim now that something other than that is natural, then where's your evidence for that? The funny thing is that there's evidence opposite to that. So right now, if you try to Google, for example, if you open another page and try to Google 2019, no gene, Nature magazine.
No gay gene. There's no gay gene, but genetics are linked to same-sex behavior.
No. Put Nature magazine. There's specific research that was published in Nature. I hope it's still there and they didn't remove it or something. Yes. So this is Nature magazine. Yeah. Anyone who understands anything about science knows what Nature is. So there was a massive study, billions of dollars paid, or millions, or however, that they did in the West trying to find the gay gene. Why did they try to find the gay gene? Because they tried to justify the fact that being gay is actually genetic.
Fact.
It's actually something you don't have a control over.
Study.
And you're forced to do that.
Research.
And they spend these millions of dollars on these studies, and they end up themselves admitting that there is no such thing. There is no gay gene; it doesn't exist. And now, so this is the first thing. The studies themselves they're making is showing that there's no such thing. But not only that, there
How they claim that, huh?
are studies opposite to that. Like, for example, there's a book written by two scientists called "My Genes Made Me Do It." My genes made me do it. You can Google it also if you like. That book has a lot of different studies, and they display why this is not an innate thing. And some of the
Same thing like depression, like that whole idea that it's a chemical imbalance was debunked, thinking that it's something. Depression is not something that you just catch; it's something that you choose to do.
And some of what they do, for example, some of the evidences they use, they bring identical twins. You know what identical twins are?
Yes.
Identical twins are almost similar 100% in their genetic makeup. And then they bring one twin who is sexual and the other isn't. So how is it a genetic thing when they basically have almost the same genetic makeup, but one of them is homosexual and the other is not, the other is straight, and they have the same environment of growing up in. So these are some of the evidences they display that this is not a natural thing, right? So this is a book. There's even a massive study that was done, but it was too against being a political thing, It was against the liberalism. That's why they had to take it down. It was a study of Dr. Robert Spitzer, which is the father of modern psychology in America. And what he did is he conducted a study. He spoke to 200 on the phone. And both of them. Yeah, both of them changed to heterosexual tendencies. All of them changed to heterosexual tendencies. 200 people.
How?
And he spoke to them. That's it.
What did he tell him? Did he give him dawah? Was he Muslim?
No. He is a psychologist. He is the father of modern psychology.
I think it's all about mindset, bro. If you have mindset, I'm broke and I can't be rich, then you will be that. And you can say your mindset says I'm not a practicing Muslim and I can't be Muslim because it's too hard to practice. And that's the truth, bro. It's all about mindset, bro. Everyone's same position, but not the same position, but their mind, their brain is same position. You need to break this law to learn something and put on your life.
In America, actually, it's not just a random guy. His name is Robert Spitzer, and he conducted the study. But he called it a reparative treatment, i.e., repairing something which needs to be repaired. That's why he was attacked by the media, and he had to change the name from reparative treatment. And later on, he had to come on and retract the whole study and say, you know what, the study was deficient. Why did he say it's deficient? He said because you cannot know just through the phone if they actually have become homosexual or not, and you cannot know when someone is truly homosexual or not. Some nonsense to try to avoid the fact that the findings of this study that he spent years on, of speaking to 200 people, and all of them have changed into heterosexual tendencies. And before the 1960s, by the way, homosexuality was a psychological disorder. Now, this is not my opinion. This is in every medical textbook before the 1960s, before the liberalism and the sexual quote unquote revolution and all of the stuff that happened. This was a psychological disorder, and they always tied it. The psychologists at that time, they tied it to abuse when you're young. So, for example, lack of father figure when you're growing up, abuse,
Or
when
maybe
you're
they
a
were
child.
molested or something, or they had sex young, or they were exposed to porn.
Yeah.
Now it's all thing is not corrupted, bro.
Or they're abused by their own parent, or they don't have a father figure in their family. For example, growing with just a mother. All of these things have been the common factor that has been used in all of these studies before the 1960s. When the 1960s came and it became being gay, criticizing it has become politically a sin, incorrect to do in the Western world, then no one was allowed to label it as such. And gender, and then you had people like Joe Money, and you have people like these people are coming, and Alfred Kinsey, who came and said, you know what, gender is a social construct, and
Also, I think he was Jewish, correct? For Kinsey.
Yeah. So these people, look, it's funny when you trace sometimes, where these people come from lineage-wise. It's a different story for a different day. But the thing is this, right?
Yeah.
They propose this nonsense about that the gender is not really, we don't know what a man and woman. These are all made-up concepts. You had Joe Money and these people conducting studies or actually trying to get pleasure in babies, like in children, who are like. So it was crazy stuff, But the thing is, look, right now I've provided you like different types of articles and evidences that demonstrates that there's no such thing.
Right. I don't even need to finish. You've debunked like pretty much the rest of the debate. I just, before interrupting you, I'm sorry, but he goes on to say like their position is their morality. Because I was trying to give him dawah. My argument was that all my morality, all my beliefs, they go back to the Quran, Sunnah, Halas. That's it. Just Quran, Sunnah. That's how you need to have something that hasn't changed in order to figure out right from wrong.
Can you skip then the part where they're talking about the gay into when they get to the age of
consent,
the marriage of the prophet, the age of consent, and this and that.
Right, but so I just want to like their position is that the morality is always adapting, it's always changing, it always changes with the times, and that's how it can be consistent. Because if 1 year in 1 decade it's being gay is a mental illness, and then the other decade is not, then you're always going to shift, and it could easily be corrupted because mankind we're inherently flawed. Let's go. I think the age of consent.
Yeah, the reason I'm trying to listen to them is see that none of them can claim that we're misrepresenting their position, but taking the words of the horse's mouth, take it from their own mouth and then debunk what they're saying.
I want to play this last one, and then can I add? I want to add this guy Steve will do it to the call. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay, perfect. He's a disbeliever and he wants to learn a little bit more.
You can add anyone you want to, like, it's up to you.
Disbeliever. Atheist or not? Or Christian? I don't know.
Or people internet?
Yo, what the? I thought it was haram to make insults.
I'm just joking with you.
That's not haram, bro. That's a joke.
You made an XQC joke.
You have more money than me, man. What are you talking about?
Oh, no. My internet's still poorer than yours. Okay.
Overall, mankind strives to be better. Once we know more, we can change things. Sometimes textbooks are wrong, like science, and they have to fix it. They know more, they improve. I try to adapt and add new parts on the machine, that a stronger machine. It's what I do. It's what I think people should try to do.
So your morality could be different tomorrow than it is today?
Absolutely, 100%. Because there are things that we don't know yet about human cognition, psychology, just social behaviors. Something we just don't know some things, and we have to adapt to new information. In order
also,
to
literally,
even
religions literally do this. Okay, like even religions update their standards for how they exist and how they are spread amongst their people and how their nations are ran over time. Like Islam's done this, Christianity's done this.
No, Islam has not done that. That's not true. And Christianity has been adapted, but that's besides the point. I'm saying.
What do you mean Islam hasn't done this? You don't think that Islam or Islamic states haven't changed the way, for instance, they approach like the way that they have like other religious groups that live in their countries? Like
you're changing morality to politics, and that's not what I'm talking about.
Hold on. I'm sorry. Wait. That's not politics at all. What do you mean? Of course that's morality. There should be
states. You said Muslim countries. I'm talking about the book and theology.
I'm sorry. What do you think Muslim state means that's not involved in religion? What do you think a caliphate is? Who do you think Muhammad was? What the are you talking about?
Okay, you're you're shifting the goalposts. This is not like
Hold on.
being
I'm sorry.
loud
Wait.
does
I
not
just
make
need to
you
hear
right.
you say this. Do you think that politics and Islam are completely dissociated from one another? They don't have anything to do with each other?
Right. You saying that it's changing, that's sort of an example of politics changing the religion. That's not to the core. And that's besides the point.
How is that
Excuse-
besides the point? I'm sorry. Hold on. I need to hear you
No,
say
no, I
this.
want
Do
you
you think that the
to
political
stop the video for a second. Look, now here you need to notice the debate tactics. I see you falling for easy tricks there, which is a big problem, right? So this guy, what he's done there is a very easy debate tactic that they use with people, which is moving the goalpost. This is what he done.
I
He
called
moved
it
the
out. I
goalpost-
said it, but what
Yeah.
should I
No, no,
have
but
done
the
there?
problem, yeah, I'll tell you. The problem is you went with the flow, with whatever he said next, you went with it. You responded to it. So first he went from Islam to Islamic State, right? And then he went from Islamic State to politics, and then he claimed that politics and Islam has nothing to do with each other. Who made that claim? You've never made that claim in the discussion. So he jumped from one
It was muted, bro. Oh, show my Allah, what happened?
to three to four, and he keeps jumping in different hoops and changing his position. Why? Because he's a very sneaky guy. And these sneaky people, they use terms, right? And they try, to combine different terms with each other, so they play a game. He knows that Islam and Islamic State are completely two different things. That doesn't mean that in Islam we don't have a political system. But what we mean is that the actions that the state does is not representatives of the religion.
Of the Quran, Sunnah
This is the
completely,
point.
yeah.
Yeah, exactly, which is the point that you were making. So he was playing a game. Oh, no, but some states are doing this. So what? If some states is doing something, it doesn't mean that Islam has approved it. And that's why these states are disagreeing with one another, which is approved by itself. That they're not taking one source in how they behave, right? They're not taking the Quran and the Sunnah.
So how should
But
I
the
have
Quran and
done?
Sunnah-
How should I have done better? Right? Because what I said was correct, right?
Yeah, what you should have done is you should tell him you should stop jumping from this. Is the you highlight what he done. You say you jumped from this, which is what I've done with you. You say to him, look, you jumped from first saying Islam into the political state, and then jumping from the political state to politics, and then claiming that politics is not part of Islam, which is a claim I never made. And you say to him, let's stick to the first claim that we were talking about. What is Islam? Ask him this question. That's it. What is Islam? What defines, when you say Islam changes, you made the claim that the religion changes. What is Islam? What defines Islam and the Islamic teachings? And don't tell me the state, because this is not the definition of the religion. The revelation is taken by every Muslim's belief from the sources, which is the Quran and Hadith. And these don't change. These are written and 1,400 years ago, and we have them today.
W's in the chat for Muslim Lantern, bro. Well, we
Got
got
it,
another day.
Muslim
I'll call you
Lantern.
earlier so that we can do more of this review. Because
Inshallah.
I respect your intellect quite a bit, and I want to. Yesterday we had a Twitter space, and they were suggesting that I have more of these conversations frequently, so that I'd be able to get the reps in and stuff like that. Because I just want to make sure that I represent Islam as well as I can, because I'm a very new Muslim, but I'm going to be doing these debates more.
Yeah, that's fine. That's totally fine, inshallah. And we can maybe next time talk about the Aisha's age thing, because we didn't address that. And I think it's a very ridiculous thing. So we can talk about it, but more in time, because we are short of time. I'll be waiting around if you need me, inshallah, when you talk to Steve. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I want to give him some dawah. So, but I think it's going to be too much. I don't want to bombard him with too.
Yes. No, you're right.
Okay, great. I'll call you right back. Okay.
No problem.
They're spamming W's, by the way. They like you.
Double
Okay,
Muslim
alhamdulillah.
legend,
Alhamdulillah.
double
Good guys,
Muslim
that's right.
Muhammad
Thanks,
Ali.
Okay.
All right.
Assalamualaikum. W Muslim Lantern.
Okay, that was a good discussion about many things, but I think my microphone was muted when I was talking about politics and Islam. Okay, and people are think about politics. Islamic country has the politics. Islam. Okay, Islamic country took the Islamic law from Islam, but yeah, you can see on Saudi Arabia, all those law has gone right now. Many laws, like recently they opened a shop of alcohol, and it sounds like crazy, bro. And also Afghanistan is Islamic country, but it has different Sharia law, different Islamic law, but that Islamic law and Islamic countries law are not the same every time. Okay, and you can see Turkey. Turkey. It was Islamic country, but now it is not Islamic. It is it is I think liberal country. Okay, and that's it. I can't talk too much, bro. I'm very, bro. Goodbye. Masalama. I think on more podcasts like this discussion with Jerka, Muslim letter versus Jerka, and yeah, SNEAKO will host this, and I'll share with you, inshallah, soon. Goodbye.